It's your boy Chig from Granit Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is player ratings, and I'm all by myself. So yeah, that's gonna be unusual. Hopefully, without Lee, I should anger you guys less. That is the theory, that is the hope, but you never know. But in the meantime, please do slap a like on the video, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. As I go through the game's findings, and I'll talk a little bit about what I thought about the game. You could probably see towards the end of that I was flagging. Didn't particularly sleep brilliantly yesterday. And then with the early kickoff, it was just like I was flagging towards the end of that. I just found it a really dull game towards the end, which I must admit, when you compare it to the first 25 minutes of the game, feels like I'm talking about a different game. I thought it was very entertaining. I thought Arsenal looked in control. They looked like they could score at a whim. They looked like they were playing around with them at the time. Thomas Partey was running an absolute show out of their side. I thought he played well. He looked like someone who maybe kind of wanted to really reintroduce himself to Arsenal fans and show what sort of player he actually is. And he actually played very well. I thought he kind of illustrated himself very well and introduced us to him as a player. Randomly, Callum Chambers started. It was just like, okay. It's funny. It's funny because I've been calling for Chambers to start for ages, for absolute ages. I've been calling for Chambers to start as a centre back because I think that he's one of our more composed centre backs alongside maybe Murray. And of course, Arteta starts him, but starts him as a right back today. But of course, Burnley, if you ever seen them play, they don't offer a lot from wingers. All it comes to when it comes to Burnley is they promise you a physical battle, and that's what we got today. So that sort of suits Chambers, and actually Chambers was able to kind of push forward more and attack their left back quite a lot, and try to force him back as much as possible. Ben Mee, man, got man of the match. So for all those times that people were like, "What are you talking about, Jim? You say you know defenders, but you rated Ben Mee." I'm like, well, yeah. You see how he performed today? He outperformed everyone. Let's think about it. He kind of had everybody on lock. I thought he was strong. I thought he was combative. And I think he did everything that he was asked to do today. So I like Ben Mee as a player. I do. I think he's a very good player. In terms of Arsenal, I don't know where we go from here. I thought it was a good start. Obviously, the goal came in, and Aubameyang took a quick shot, squeezed past Pope in the inside post. But then you kind of always had a feeling that as it stayed 1-0, over and over again, you kept thinking Burnley are going to pull their way back into the game. Burnley are going to drag their way back into the game. And they did it. They did it. By hook or by crook, it ain't pretty. No one promised it was going to be pretty. But they did it. And they used the assistance of a certain liability called Granit Xhaka. Oh, man. I don't know, man, when it comes to this Granit Xhaka kid. I don't get it. I don't get what makes him so undroppable. I don't get it. I don't get why he can't seem to pass the ball. He can't shoot. He has no awareness. He's stubborn. Doesn't like to apologize when he's made a mistake. Feels as though he's arrogant enough to be on the pitch and do his talking. Yeah, you do your talking on the pitch. You show me every time you step out on that pitch why I think you're a terrible player. You damn right you do your talking on the pitch. There's just nothing about him that just makes me think, oh, you are the player for me. I've never really rated him. Never. I've never seen anything about him that makes you think, oh, probably some people might suggest that his best attribute is his left foot. For me, keep your left foot in it. Just do the other basics correctly. Keep your left foot. Keep this banging left foot that you supposedly have. Keep the goals. Just do the basics right. Intercept. Be aware of what you're doing. You know, just be useful to the team. Be one of the, dare I say it, senior players of the team. The players where the young players are supposed to be looking up to. Not learning your nonsense every time you step out on the pitch. And that's why he's been with us for so long, and I've run out of so many expressions and words for this man that I honestly can't. I honestly, there's nothing else I could say. There's no other expressions I have to describe Granit Xhaka other than useless liability. And he will always be a liability because this is a man who, for me, doesn't learn from his mistakes, is too arrogant to apologize, and will not work hard to improve. Guess what happened? Guess what? You notice there's quite a few players that have those attributes. David Luiz, another player, too arrogant to apologize, won't work hard to improve, won't recognize when he's done wrong, will continue to make mistakes. Hector Bellerin, too arrogant to apologize, would rather leave the club than to ever recognize that he should be better. Feels that he should be seen as a higher standing than he actually is. It doesn't care about football enough to be able to improve. And guess what? All these people share attributes with the manager. Too arrogant to recognize where he is in the side. Too is stuck in his ways. You know, they have the same attributes. They don't see a manager who's able to adapt and change. So why should they? And in Granit Xhaka's case, I'm sat there, right? And hold on one second as I just stretch while I turn off the camera, right? In Granit Xhaka's case, I look at him and I think to myself, why is it that four managers have found this guy undroppable? And I think the thing that I think that all those four managers have in common is there are four managers who, and I don't, probably it's a bit harsh to coat Freddie with this brush because Freddie was there for such a short period of time. But all three of those managers, at least three of those managers, were too stuck in their ways, didn't want to admit their mistakes, and decided to pursue instead of change their ways. Arguably, the one that did was the one that ended up losing their job, and that was Unai Emery. Unai Emery was the one that eventually realized that, hold on, maybe we need to change a few things. Unfortunately for Unai Emery, that change was never, ever someone like Granit. It was never someone like, it was never Granit Xhaka. It was always other people in the team. But Granit, I think one thing that I think all this basuma talk, I hope, has made people realize is maybe we need to strengthen the core of the team. Maybe there's something wrong with the underbelly of that team. And that we finally got someone in Thomas Partey who's going to be able to give us a bit of grit and a bit of control, as we saw today. I thought he was brilliant today. I thought for large spells of the game, I thought this is the kid, this is the guy we spent 45 million on. But he's also going to need that support because behind him is someone who I said it before and I'll say it again. Hold on to the ball. I wouldn't trust Granit Xhaka to hold on to shopping. Never mind hold on to the ball. So I think those are the sort of areas that I would like to see Arsenal improve in, our core, then our creativity. You know, it's all well and good saying, oh, we need defenders, we need defenders. Actually, we need to strengthen the core of that side. You know, look at it this way, for example, right? One of the things that I want to concentrate on when the gyms reopen is my legs. I want to really try and, I was always rubbish with leg day, to be fair. I want to get back to really kind of trying to build that up. I can do that all day. But at the end of the day, if my core is rubbish, then what's the point? If this is rubbish, what's the point? If this is rubbish, what's the point? And for Arsenal for so long, for so many years, how many years have you been supporting Arsenal? And have you heard the words, not only transition, but have you heard the words soft underbelly? Always. Let's focus on improving that area. That's personally what I would do. I would look to focus on that side of things. You know, and people are saying, "Oh, what, Trig, have you just realised that?" No, I've known this about Granit Xhaka. You know, Granit Xhaka. I think Lee put it best towards the end of that watch along. I'm not even angry. I'm not, because I've watched Arsenal for so long, and I've watched Granit Xhaka for so long. I expect this of him. He is what he is. You know, he's too arrogant to apologize. Clearly, he's not capable of learning from his mistakes. So now I only blame the people who put him into the team. Enter Mikel Arteta. I don't give a damn. Enter the previous three managers. We need to be looking for better than your Hector Bellerin's, your David Luiz's, and quite frankly, your Granit Xhaka's. I don't care. I don't care if he's you know, a good footballing profile because he's 28 years old and he's Swiss and you know he's the Swiss captain and maybe that makes him some kind of great profile. I don't give a damn. What's he producing for the side? Like sometimes I feel like we make fashionable signings or we keep people because it's fashionable. It's fashionable to keep a good-looking right back, um, as opposed to someone who is a good player at right back. That's why I think Hector Bellerin has had the longevity he's had because he's marketable, he's good looking. You can put him in any spot, and he's able to kind of market the crap out of it. He speaks very well. Listen, I'll give it to him. He speaks very, very well. Not just the fact that he knows English, but actually has the intelligence and speaks very well. This is all well and good, but before you come to all of this shit, are you a good footballer? You know, Granit Xhaka's the same sort of thing. Another one, you know, does his thing. Good looking boy. Maybe not necessarily has the intelligence to speak per se, but in the sense that he has that good sort of footballing profile. He's the fashionable type of footballer in the sense that he's able to hit a diagonal pass that might look good in a highlight on a Champions League trailer, maybe. Cool, all well and good. But can you do the basics though? David Luiz, and I've always thought this, even when David Luiz played for Chelsea the first time, David Luiz, someone who has this kooky hair and, you know, he's clearly has a good touch with it with his feet and is very capable and is a big character and is important in the dressing room and all that. Great. Can you defend though? You know what I mean? I'm not asking for a lot. I'm just asking for players that can do the job. Just go out there and do the job. Go out there and battle against Burnley. Go out there and fight against Burnley. And don't get me wrong, I don't think David Luiz was that bad. And when I get into the player ratings, and I am going to in a minute, I'm, you know, you'll see. I don't think David Luiz is that bad, but Granit Xhaka is one of the three liabilities I'm talking about. So today, for people who ask me, what do I think about what happened? I'm not surprised. I'm not angry. Just disappointed. But it is what it is. I know people will be taking all sorts of narratives today. The fact that VAR cancelled out the penalty that we should have, that arguably we should or shouldn't have had for the Eric Peters one. For me, I thought it was the correct decision. It always looked high to me. I'm sure that there'll be people that will talk about the fact that we should have had a decision here or there, and I can already see where the narrative is going. The fact of the matter remains, though, why is it that we didn't blow Burnley away in the first place? Why is it that whenever it comes to these close games, our go-to is, oh, did we get bumped by VAR? Okay, cool. That's going to be the narrative. That's going to be the thing we talk about on YouTube. Stop it. Stop it. Anyway, let's get into player ratings. Over 200 people watching. Thank you very much for that. Please do slap a like on this video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And yeah, let's get into player ratings. And so I'll get up out of here and leave you guys to your day. Burnt Leno. Now, I've seen a lot of people criticize Burnt Leno for the goal. I do think he could have made life easier, I must admit. As someone who, see, for me, this is where I feel like Martinez would have been better in this situation, where I think Martinez wouldn't have passed it to Granit Xhaka. I think he would have completely licked the ball down the field. Because it's like Granit Xhaka, I don't understand that situation in the first place, right? Even as I think, even as calamitous as I think that David Luiz is, I can understand if it's Luiz's one in that position trying to receive the ball because he is quite good with his feet. You know, he can turn either way. You can use either feet. So it's fine. But Granit Xhaka, at the best of times, can't turn. And he damn sure can't turn right. And all that basically happened today was that he got closed down and then hit a banging assist for a Chris Wood. They didn't even really know too much about it. Even Chris Wood was like, so I feel like he made a couple of good saves, though I will say that. But I do think he had a part to play in that goal. I'm going to say a 6 out of 10. Callum Chambers, I actually thought Callum Chambers played pretty well. Arguably the best out of the defenders. I thought he played really well. I thought he slotted in, looked pretty seamless in transition. You know, I don't like him as a right back. I still feel like centre back is where I'd prefer to see him, even though there's clearly a lot of competition there. And you know, obviously, it seems to be a last minute call for him to be playing there in the first place, because you know, I think yeah, I suspect a different call would have and should have been made, but it wasn't. So yeah, it is what it is. But I'm going to give Chambers a 6 out of 10. I'm going to give Mari and David Luiz. I'm going to give them both a 6 as well. I'm going to give Tierney a 6. So that's 4. So all of them so far have had 6 out of 10s. So there you go. In the middle, Granit Xhaka. I'm going to give you a 0, my friend. It would have been better if you weren't on the pitch. Would not have considered a goal. And it felt like, for me, it almost felt like, I don't know if you noticed, it felt like Granit Partey completely deflated after that goal went in. Like, you could just see his effort just half-assed just before half-time. Because before that, he was on point. He was running the show. And then just after that goal went in, it was just like, oh, come on, bro. Yeah, 0 out of 10. Thomas Partey, for me, I thought was our man of the match, which is not saying all that much because he's going to get a 7 out of 10. So there you go. Mainly because I thought he did fade towards the end of the game. And I think he's just deflated. I think he was a constant presence on the pitch, but I just think, yeah, it was what it was. Odegaard, 5, 4, 5, 4. I must admit, I would have liked to have seen him stay on, but I didn't see. I didn't. So that's why I did agree with Lee at the time when he said that. But when I think about it, there was no real significant contribution that I saw him attempts to make. So I'll give Odegaard I'll give him a 4 out of 10. Saka on the right hand side. I thought constantly found himself in good positions, causing him a lot of problems. The thing with Saka today was the finishing was god awful. It was just awful. There was just zero ability to finish. Yeah, it's a difficult one with Saka. I want to give him a 7, but I'm going to give him a 6 because I do think that he was trying to weave manage it. He was constantly trying to do something, but it never worked out. Burnley's defense was resolute and being led nicely by Ben Mee, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, I'm going to give Saka a 6. On the left-hand side, I'm going to give Willian. We had a really good 15-minute opening spell and then slip back into normal Willian mode. Four. I can't give him a 5. I can't give him a 5. 4. Oh, he got an assist. Ip dip do. The cat's got the flu. Chicken pot. Out goes you. 5. I'll give him a 5. Aubameyang. Again, Aubameyang had a good 15-minute spell, opening spell. But then after that, I actually forgot Aubameyang was playing. I don't know about you guys. There was one opportunity they had a pass for, I think it was Saka. They kind of it just weren't a great pass on the right-hand side. Should have passed it about a second before he actually did. And then Saka was closed down after that. All in all, I thought he was all right, though. It's a difficult one. He scored as well, so I'll give him a 5. The subs real quick. Ceballos hit the post. I'll give him a 2. Lacazette, a 1. Didn't really see what he did. And then who else came on? Remind me, guys. Who else came on? Ceballos, Laka. I feel like it's an attacking player. Oh, and Pepe. Pepe missed a chance which, quite frankly, my little sister could have put away. My mum could have put away. So I'll give him a 2. I'm not gonna lie, and that 2 is purely because I guess because he found himself in that position, but then still missed. So I'll give him a 2 nonetheless. Mikel Arteta. Not the greatest fan of the team, but the parts that I was worried about didn't necessarily let me down. So the Chambers, the David Luiz's was fine. But I'm not sure what's going on with him and Martinelli. Don't get it. Don't get why he continues to drop Pepe when Pepe plays well. And ultimately, we didn't win the game. And, I'm not sure, for me, I think, like I said, I think top 4 is gone and has been gone for some time. But I think you're in a position in the league where we should be looking to ask questions. And we're not asking questions, and we're not putting together wins. And, I find it hard to see how we're going to do anything but finish 10th, 9th, 10th this season. And then people trying to justify to me that why we shouldn't sack Mikel Arteta in spite of the fact that we finished 9th or 10th. But football fan logic, I guess. But yeah, for me, I'm going to go with a 3 out of 10 for Mikel Arteta. You guys let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. Bertrand, I agree with you. Top 8 is gone. Leave it in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me for my very first non Mr. Lee Gunner player ratings in some time. I used to do it a long while ago. Because believe it or not, people won't give me the credit for it. I was one of the very first, probably after AFTV, for when AFTV used to do it for England games. But I was one of the very first people to do wash-alongs and player ratings. Very, very first people. Lee will vouch for it. Very, very first. I was one of the originators of that. So I used to do it a long, long time ago. And doing it with Lee and listening to Lee rant, and then I would rant, and then we would argue is usually how we've kind of done things. So now me ranting on my own feels kind of weird, but nothing that I'm not used to. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the new kind of flow. I did see a couple of people ask this in the chat as I was talking. Yes, I will give people an opportunity to do player ratings with me, but it will be members. It will be members. It will be specifically gold members. So yes, gold member people will be allowed to do player ratings with me. So it will simply work where what I'll basically do, and I haven't set this up yet, but what I want to do is I want to do player ratings, talk about the game, give them a quick review of the game, and then when it comes to player ratings, then invite that gold member to come on and do player ratings with me. So that will be for gold members only. But yes, so if you do want to do that moving forward, just let me know and hit me up before the game actually finishes, and obviously be a member, be a gold member, and we'll get that sorted. But yeah, I'm an ex-member. Could I jump on it? No, you have to be a current member. I have to make the membership sweet. I have to make them tempting for you guys. So yes, that is something I have been thinking about. So yes, do keep an eye out on that. But anyway, in the meantime, I'm going to leave you guys to it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you guys soon. Take care. Peace.